let's do that. All right. I am, as you guys know, so freaking excited to have Kristina on tonight. I've been talking about it for 2 weeks. And we have been starting this, leadership group, and we've been focusing on like, what are the steps to get to diamond? And like I told you last week, you have to know where you're going. You have to know the roadmap. You have to know, okay, what is diamond? What does it look like? And it's not just diamond. What does that mean to step up into that position and to have that organization below you? So we've talked a lot about it. And I'm not going to take up any more time because I told you guys all on Monday night about this call. So I just want to take a second to introduce Kristina. Again, you guys know I talk about her all the time. I stalk her all the time. And she has really been a mentor that I just she didn't ask for it, but I just clung to her. And I really wanted to dive into leadership training, and not just like, how do I get one of my coaches diamond? Like, I wanted to really learn how to develop people, how to develop leaders, how to help somebody like me take this business and make it their own, and eventually make it into a full-time income like I'm doing, and so many of us want to do. All of us want to do that. Every single one of you have that goal. And so I want to introduce Kristina. She's going to talk tonight about your roadmap. And she is a superstar diamond coach. She's exceeded the million club, 4-time elite coach, which means, what is elite? That means she's duplicating what she's doing and teaching her coaches to do the same thing. That's what elite means. And she's the creator of Dream Extreme, as you know, that has over 25,000 coaches. She's been somebody that I've looked to in this business since I started 5 years ago. And I'm beyond, like, I have like goosebumps, and I'm just like gonna pee my pants. I'm just very honored and blessed to have her on our call tonight. So I will let her take it away.
All right. Hey, you guys. Welcome. First of all, awesome for you for being on the call. Thanks for Megan for hosting. I was at the farm all day with my kids, and I literally came from the farm, and I'm sitting here, and I've been working like a crazy person ever since. So, okay. I think that, just what she's talking about is, how do you lead people to that next step? And I think it's a combination of educating you, right, and inspiring you, right? But at the end of the day, you have to take it and you have to run with it. So I have 6 bullet points, and I hope to keep it short because I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions. So if you have questions as we go, you can use the chat and put them right in there, but then I'll open it at the end, and definitely, take this opportunity to ask questions. So number 1 is, this is your business, and I hone in on that because you don't ever want to think of this as your Beachbody business. So this is your business, your dream, your opportunity to do something great with your life. And you want to think about that and lead with that all the time. This is your opportunity to make it happen. I was just talking to one of my new coaches who has signed up, like, it hasn't even been 2.5 weeks that she's been a coach. And I was coaching her on how to help one of her new coaches. And I told her, sometimes you just have to grab the bull by the horns. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when I say make it happen, not everyone maybe understands what I mean by that. But I mean, you can't sit back and let life happen to you. You have whatever you want to happen in your business or in your life. You do have full control of your business. You have full control of how much you're earning. You have full control of everything. Are you grabbing the bull by the horns, or are you sitting there and waiting and hoping for something to just fall into your lap and happen? Okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is remember why. So leading with why you're really doing this. Okay. And I know that Megan, I'm sure, drills this into you, so I don't need to talk about it too much. But for me, at the end of the day, how this business has significantly changed my life is that it allows me to be home with my kids, although I am a working mom. I am not a stay-at-home mom, right? I run a huge business, but at the same time, it allows me to build this around them. It's changed our financial situation, and it's allowed me to help so many people, not even in our business, but in our family, okay? But I'm that girl that grew up on the South Side, that, you know, with a single mom and in a really bad neighborhood, and met my husband on the school bus. And, you know, so I'm that girl next door that if I would have stayed in that town, I don't know if I would be where I'm at right now. And I feel that life brings us opportunities all the time. Are you taking them? Or are you just like letting it pass you by and saying, oh, I'll do it next time, or I'll do it next time. You know what I mean? So remember why you're doing this and lead with it. And you have to share it. You have to share it with your coaches, and you have to share it with your prospects. And you may do that in one way on social media, but every time you onboard a coach, are you letting them know who you are and what you stand for and why you're building this business? So your story just becomes your business. Your business becomes your story. And it's not about the financial success or the ranks that you've hit or the stats that she just gave about me. That's just letting you know that I've seen success. So maybe you want to listen to what I have to say. That's all that's about. But I'm the girl who, you know, grew up on the South Side of Chicago, who doesn't wear makeup most days, and I'm in my bare feet right now. Do you know what I'm saying? So I lead with that, and people can relate to me, and that's how I build relationships with people. So be you, be real, and lead with that. Okay. Number 3, this is the good stuff. Number 3 is we're going to talk about building a team through your warm market. So I know what your goals are. I've seen your downlines. I've seen what your income goals are. And I know you guys are looking to hit diamond. And hopefully you watched my presentation this week, which was Climb to Diamond 101, where I kind of mapped out those steps of how you hit diamond and why you want to hit diamond. Diamond is the starting line, right? And then once you hit that, now you're in the game to really go for your actual financial goal, okay? So what most people don't talk about anymore because of social media is how you can just build this business so fast if you build it through warm market. So that's exactly what I did. I built my business from 2010, I would say, to 2013. That's where I built my business. That's how short of period of time. I signed up in 2008, and it's now 2017. I hauled butt for those 3 years. But in 2013, I had Brooklyn. So like, I wouldn't even say that was like a haul butt year, but I know that was the year that I hit the Million Club. So here's what nobody else is going to tell you. You guys have to recruit. So when I'm looking at your downlines and I'm looking at your coaches and your teams, right? And you know you need 8 coaches to go diamond and an emerald on each leg. But forget all that. You just need to recruit. And recruiting needs to be like priority number 1, and you need to be like a rock star at it, which means you have to just own that and be like, okay, I need to get good at this. No one comes in this and is good at that. It's a skill. It's a skill like anything else. It's a skill like public speaking, right? You have to own that I'm going to read every book or get my hands on every type of training that I can and make recruiting my number one focus. And you make recruiting your number one focus not because you're trying to hit diamond, not because you're trying to, build a team. You're making recruiting your number one focus when you truly believe and understand what this business can do for other people. Then you're instantly like, when you meet people or you meet people on social media or face to face, and you're like, they need to be a coach. They need to be on my team. They would be amazing. So, that has to be in the front of your brain. So when I talk about recruiting, I recruit for myself, but then I also recruit for my team. So let me explain that. I'm not a person that recruits a ton of coaches, okay? And there's people out there that do. I'm not. But here's what I do. So let me explain to you, my brand new coach, Melissa, enrolled about 2.5 weeks ago. Now, she is the rarity, but I'm telling you that 3 to 6 months from now, everyone is going to come to me and say, and Megan's going to be one of them, and she's going to come to me and she's going to say, okay, how did you train Melissa? Now, I'm telling, Melissa's an Emerald coach. She just signed up. I am speaking out into the world that this girl is going to be one of my next top leaders. So a lot of it, you guys, is you have to be able to go with your gut and see greatness in other people before they see it in themselves, right? And sometimes you're wrong, but sometimes you're right. So, and the reason I'm sharing this with you is for multiple reasons, but I'm not doing anything special. Okay. Melissa has been following me for 5 years on social media. And that is like, right? Like, who wants to wait 5 years to enroll someone like that? But my point is she's been one of those people who's just been waiting and watching, right? And I didn't know she was waiting and watching. She went to my Turbo Kick training, I guess 5 years ago. And she used Beachbody products, I guess, years ago and was a success. And now she has like her own personal training, group fitness, small studio in Indiana. So she signs up and she's a Ruby. So if you know your social styles, she is a Ruby. I'm not quite sure yet of her secondary, but she's definitely a Ruby because she's just like a go-getter, type of person. So she tells me right off the bat, I want to do what you've done. If I can do 10% of what you have done, it will change my life. So that's the first thing. If you're not, and it's not about the income. It is about the income because we need the income to change our lives. I get that. But if you're not publicly sharing with your team why you're doing this and what you're going for and what your goals are, then you're limiting them because they are going to grasp on to what you believe and they're going to want to do what you do. Like attracts like. I attract people that are just like me. And she is just like me. And I don't even know her. Okay. But, so anyways, she comes in, she wants to build a big business. She wants to build a full-time income. She is in the fitness industry. She's already lost 100 pounds. Okay. Now, we can all say we've sponsored people like this and they've done absolutely nothing. So don't ever think like, oh, well, they're a trainer or she's an instructor and she has a huge network. Sometimes it's like, so what? Because that person just doesn't have the vision or the drive or they don't want to do the work or whatever. So it doesn't matter. And her losing 100 pounds and I guess like, I don't know if it was like 30 or 40 of it was from insanity years ago. whatever. She could also have said, well, you know, I've lost the weight this way. Now I don't want to tell people that, you know, like you could deal with that. So you can never assume. But she came in and she's like, I want to build a huge business. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I want to build a full-time income. And I said, okay, you need to start lining up your people. You need to start, tell me who are the top people that you want to get involved in this. So her warm market. So before we even did a new coach call, I put her in the 14-day internship group for those videos, and she signed up 2 people just from watching those 14-day internship videos, okay? But she literally said to me, I want to do what you're doing. I want to build a full-time income. What did I say? Okay, we need to get your top people involved in this. You know, I want you to start thinking of who do you want to be on your team, or who do you want me to start to help you talk to, and start making your list. We're going to talk next week. We didn't even make it to the new coach call. She sponsored 2 people. And both were like, you know, acquaintances, coworkers, whatever. So not family members. I had to voice text her through Facebook to show her how to do her preferred placement so she would hit Emerald. Okay. By the time that we did the new coach call, which was a week because I wanted her to do the 14-day videos, she got one of her coaches to Emerald. So I was literally like, oh my gosh. And then I think she sponsored another coach. I mean, I was just like, whoa. So here's my point. Like, some people just get it, and they're going to come in and they're going to just blow the doors off. But had I been like, well, let's start with a challenge group. Let's start with a free group. Do you get where I'm going with this? Then she probably wouldn't have sponsored those people. She's got now, it's 2.5 weeks in. She hit Success Club. She's got 2 coaches on each leg. One of them is Emerald, and the other one has 1 coach. And I just coached her today to go do a Shakeology party and get that other coach to Emerald. And she says she has 2 more people signing up today. I'm like, oh my God. Slow down. But no, just kidding. No, don't slow down. So I literally feel like I did nothing. She's been watching me on social media. She told me what she wanted. She knew that I have positioned myself in Beachbody as an expert in building the business and building a team and building leaders. You can't be an expert in everything. I'm not an expert in challenge groups. I'm not an expert in free groups. Don't ask me about nutrition. Like, I'm actually pretty good about nutrition now, but I just hate to talk about food. So you can't be an expert in everything, and you kind of have to figure out what that is going to be for you, but it needs to match your goals. Okay? So my point with that is that 14-day internship is the 14-day new coach videos. I'm sure you have seen those. I just put them in a Facebook group, and I'm about to redo them. So there's no need to even go in there now. They're a little outdated. They need to be redone. So for me, I only signed up 1 coach last month, which is horrible. And that's not, my point is, but in turn, we've enrolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on her team. So we've enrolled 8, okay, together. So that's how you build a team. It's not about bringing one person in. It's about bringing that one person in and going through their warm market and enrolling everybody that you possibly can that's in their warm market first. And you know who that is, you guys? It's their family and their friends that want to lose weight, that want to get on Shakeology. Shakeology is your business. That is your number 1 product. It's not Beachbody On Demand. You need to be leading with Shakeology. And the reason is because Shakeology is your residual income. That's the one that's coming in every month, whether they're a customer or a coach, right? So when you get a new coach signed up and you ask them, who do you know that would be interested in trying Shakeology or getting on Shakeology? Okay? And you kind of lead it there, start there. So you recruit for you recruit for them, you go through their warm market, their list. Who can you get in front of right now and help onboard them to the team? This is a skill, and I know it's scary, but I'm telling you, if you do it and you just go for it, your team and your volume and your income, everything will build so fast, and you're going to literally be like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Okay? But when you just focus on recruiting for yourself, your business and your income is just going to grow like, a snail. Does that make sense? So she hit Success Club, she hit Emerald, she's making Team Cycle bonus, and like she's not even a month in. And is she excited? Heck yeah. Will she hit Diamond? Well, yeah, duh. But now I'm already wanting to work with her at her first person that went Emerald. She's like, she has a big network. She wants to build a full-time income. I want to work with her. I want to go now 2 levels deep and help the girl that went Emerald that I haven't met yet. I don't remember her name right now. Let's say it's Jackie. It's Jessica, I think. I want to meet Jessica, and I want to help Jessica now do the same thing. I want to get in front of Jessica's warm market and help her, because your new coaches, they're learning and they are fumbling over their words and they're not confident and they don't know what to say. And, and Melissa's actually very confident, but she was a customer before years ago. And she's just like that type of person that, that person that I'm talking about, like she's just like that go-getter, right? And not everyone is that way. So I'm looking at Melissa's warm market and I'm asking her for her list, and I'm telling her, okay, what can I do to help you get in front of as many people as possible within the next couple of weeks, So that could be supporting her with scripts, or giving her advice or strategies to invite. But it can also be me literally helping her talk to these people, okay? And that might seem scary, but you guys have to remember, these are your people. They're not mine, and they're not Megan's. If you're signing someone up as a coach, you know them, right? Like they're your friend, or they were in your challenge group. I mean, you know them. So you have to build enough of a relationship with people to ask the hard questions of, what do you want from this? Because I'm willing to work hard to help you get that. But here's how it's going to work. Here's what it's going to take. Okay? So here's what you have to master if you want to build a full-time income in this business. And this is specifically with your new coaches. You have to master pulling out their goals and their dreams, okay? And I already told you, you have to share yours with them, whether they want to hear it or not. You need to just practice sharing that with people, okay? You need to master learning their social style, because you should mirror them, right? So she's straight to the point, direct, so I'm going to mirror that, okay? But if she wasn't, and she was more reserved, actually the one coach she sponsored, that sponsored one coach, is the complete opposite of her. I want to say she's an Emerald, but I'm not sure. And I did their new coach call together, and so I kind of had to be like, going back and forth. You have to master building their list, teaching them how to build their list, meaning like 100 people or more, and then making sure that they send it to you. Okay. If you don't get their list, then you don't have a list, you don't have a business. That's one of the sayings in network marketing, right? If your list is in your head and not on paper. That's just accountability. That's just them telling you, I'm in it and I'm willing to do what you say. And then number 4 is you have to get in front of their warm market and enroll them into the different buckets. The different buckets are like, do they want to become a coach? Do they want to become a discount coach? Do they want to become a customer? Or do they want to just join the free community? Okay. So this is something that I say to leaders all the time that are struggling. How do I say this? They're struggling bringing leaders up underneath them. Maybe they're, I don't know if it doesn't really matter. Okay. So here's what I say. Do you know how to recruit right now? Do you guys know how to onboard customers and coaches? Can everybody say yes? Okay. So if you know how to do that, then why don't you do it for your new coach? That's what I mean by grabbing the bull by the horns. Because here's your new coach. Well, my sister's interested in Shakeology. She's going to try it. She's going to think about it. I don't know. And then, I have this friend that loves insanity, but she's interested in my challenge group. But do you know what I'm saying? So why don't you just cut all that and get in front of them? One shot, one time, and I'm not saying that they will sign up, but I'm saying that the likelihood that they will is going to go up like 80%. Okay, so what I coached Melissa on was how to do a Shakeology party. Okay, but you could do a 3-way. You could, if it's someone that's local, you could meet up at Starbucks. You can use Zoom. You can use whatever you want. You can use Facebook Messenger and do a 3-way. Your new coach is looking to you like they're looking to you for help. And I told Melissa, so Melissa's the go-getter. So she's expecting her new coach to be a go-getter. And I'm like, she's your opposite social style. She's not going to be that way, Melissa. And she's like, oh, I know. So she's probably going to have a hard time. And I said, no, she's not going to have a hard time, but you're going to need to do it for her in the beginning. And then she probably didn't like to hear that because she's the type of person that's like, well, if you should just do it. Like if you want to do something, you should just do it, right? So I told her though, it's not about, helping her to move your business forward. It's about helping her, because if you don't help her get that win in the beginning, right now, her new coach is doing anything we ask her to do. I mean, anything. She's the one that's watching the videos and watching the webinars and turning in her list, and she's posting in the challenge group. Those are willing business partners. People don't stay willing business partners for long if they don't get a win. Do you know what I'm saying? So I told her, if you don't help her get that success right now, 3 months from now, she's not going to be listening to us. And that's just like the brutal truth. Okay. So it's not about you being amazingly awesome and savvy with your words. It's about just do it. Are you passionate about what you do? Are you confident in the products? Do you have a story? Okay, can you help your new coach talk to their people and help them get them started? You have to put yourself out there. As the leader of your team, you have to be willing to stand up and take bullets. And that's kind of what you're doing. You're putting yourself out there in an uncomfortable place in front of their network, And their warm market, their family, friends, like those type of people, they don't listen to you anyways. They're always going to listen to a complete stranger before they listen to, like my family doesn't listen to me about Shakeology to this day. But if I bring them to a Super Saturday or something and they hear somebody else talk about it, then they're like, oh, I think I should try that. So your new coach is the same way. Like their family and friends are not hearing them and they need support. Okay. And the last thing I put was that you have to master knowing how to share a business opportunity presentation, whether that is a sneak peek or a backstage pass or a webinar. And you have to feel comfortable doing that. You know, if I share a video explaining what I do as a coach, would you watch it? If I share a video explaining the coaching opportunity, would you watch it? You have to be a master at that. And there's only one way to become a master, and that is studying and doing. Like you have to do it. You just have to fall on your face and be okay with it. Who are you going to take? Who are you taking the bullets for? You're not taking them for yourself. You're taking them for your team. So that's a hard pill to swallow. If you're not going to do it, then that's your team. These are your people. How are you going to help them build their team? That's what you have to do. So I hope that was an aha moment. Social media fits in and, you know, is built all around that. I have sponsored a lot of coaches through social media, and I have built my business through social media, but I don't know if I were to go back and do the numbers. Like right now with Melissa, we're building her business from the ground up through Warm Market. Okay. So, you might only get like 2, 3, 5 people from their Warm Market, but that's 2, 3, 5 people, even if they're customers. Okay. And if you're skipping over that and going just straight to social media, there's just a process with social media. It just takes time with the inviting and whatnot, unless they have a huge social media following. But again, you know, that's just like the 1 in a dozen thing. Okay, so if you guys do that, so when I'm about to show you some numbers, and when you see these numbers and you think, okay, well, how would I get this many people on my team? I just showed you with just 2 coaches how we brought in 8 people on our team. So I could just continue to try to recruit and recruit and recruit and recruit, which I need to do that anyways. Or every person I bring in, I can go through their Verizon network and bring on as many people as possible, and then go through those people and go through their Verizon network and go through their people and go through their Verizon network. And then before you know it, I mean, Melissa, she could have 50 people on her team in 3 months. 50 people from one coach. So would you rather sponsor 50 people, or would you rather help your people sponsor and them gain wins and help them achieve their goals? Okay. So number 4 is the comp plan. So I feel like I talk about this all the time, and I feel like you guys know a lot of this already. So I'm going to brush over a couple of things, and then I'm going to dig into Team Cycle bonus. So here's my $1 million questions that I ask my new coaches. So I ask every single coach this question, whether they answer it or not, because someone won't answer it, right? And that is, how much do you need to earn to treat this like a real business? Because people are, looking at it like it's not a real business. It's not a job. I go to a 9 to 5, or I stay at home with my kids. I don't have time to do this, So how much do you need to earn for you to treat this like a real business? And that is a very powerful question for people. Sometimes they won't answer it. and they'll kind of give you the runaround, like, oh, well, you know, I don't really care about making money. I just want to do this to get fit and help other people get fit. And that's your answer. So don't, you know, hammer it in. They just told you that, you know, they are probably happy just being in your challenge groups and maybe running some challenge groups, okay? When they do give you an amount, how would that positively impact your family's life? So again, it's not about the money, it's about what that money can do for your family and the emotional connection that's involved with that. For most of us moms, that might be, you know, walking away from our full-time job so we could be more present in our kids' lives. Or, you know, for some people it's, you know, taking my kids to Disney World and paying cash, or retiring my parents. Or so this is a skill that you have to not only ask these questions, but be firm that you want the answers. Okay. So on Monday night, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. On Monday night, I showed this. Okay. And this is coming straight out of the comp plan. So when I first started and I was recruiting coaches to join my team, I didn't know how to, I kind of always looked at this. I used to manage a gym, and I would constantly be recruiting people for the gym. In other words, I would have an amazing staff, but I was always like, what if somebody quits? What if somebody goes away to college? What if someone breaks their ankle? Like I always had a backup plan. I was always recruiting. And that was a gift, because in this business, it's the same thing. You're always losing people. You always have to be recruiting, right? So when I came into this, I was like, how do I show people what they can make and why they would want to like get involved to work it as a business? So when you go in the comp plan, and you can download this, I just reprinted it, but this is coming straight out of Beachbody. And I more so use it for the diamond benchmark. So I show people, okay, do you want to make, when they tell me for me to treat this like a real business, I need to make $500 a week. And I say, okay, first benchmark that we need to hit then is diamond. Okay. And diamond is just going to be that milestone, $200 a week. Our goal is for that $200 a week to come from Team Cycle Bonus. So we're not even talking about challenge groups and challenge packs tonight. You guys know that that's the foundation of our business, and you need to know how to do those so that you can teach your new coaches how to run challenge groups. But you don't want your income solely coming from challenge packs, because it's commission. So I told Melissa, okay, so if she hits diamond in 30 days, she needs to keep doing what she just did for the past 30 days for a whole year. And I guarantee that her Team Cycle Bonus would be at $200 or more, but it's going to grow insane. Okay. So you have to hit the rank, and then you have to put a year in. And a year in hard of recruiting. You have to be bringing coaches onto your team. You're personally sponsored, and then helping your personally sponsored bring on coaches. Okay. And then Star Diamond is kind of all over the place, because it's, 15 levels, but in general, a 5-star diamond, or bringing 5 hungry leaders onto your team, will build a 6-figure income. Again, it doesn't mean that if you hit 5-star diamond tomorrow that you're going to make 6 figures. It means you have to help those 5 leaders become successful first, and then you will reap the rewards of that. Okay. Any questions so far? So hit the rank, put a year in hard, and that means recruiting and building volume. Essentially, that's where your money comes from. It comes from the volume, and we're building volume through people. Okay. I'm about to show you another sheet, but I'm kind of scared that it might be a little too much. So what I did is I put something together on the team cycle bonus because I feel I'm the type of person that I'm not a numbers person, but when I used to manage the gyms, it was my job. So I had to learn the numbers, and because that's what I was getting paid to do. When I came into Beachbody, before I even signed up as a coach, I downloaded the comp plan, printed it out at my work, and skimmed through it to find the part where it shows you how much you can make, and then what does that look like on paper. And the first thing that I found was if you hit 2-star diamond, you get to earn like a percentage of the company's bonus pool. And so I looked up 2-star diamond. What does that mean? Okay. Oh, you have to build a team. So that is honestly how simple when I recruit people, and when I just talked to my brand new coach, Melissa, and what I just showed you is what I normally just show people, because I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want to like freak people out or scare them away. But on the other hand, I feel like if you don't really understand where the money's coming from or how to get to where you want to go, then sometimes it doesn't seem real. Does that make sense? So what I'm about to show you might go like this, or it might be your light bulb moment. I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. But what I did is kind of broke down the team cycle bonus. So I don't understand anything unless I take pen and paper and write it down. That's just how my brain works. I also don't understand anything unless I teach it. So I don't know if you're like that or not. So if someone explained this to me, I wouldn't get it until I took a pen and a paper and a calculator and I did it. And then it would make sense to me. So whatever your learning style is. So this is my own paycheck. I went through, I asked Megan, what do these coaches want to earn? And $400 a week came up. Okay. So I went to my own paycheck of when I made $404 as a diamond coach. 378 of that came from team cycle bonus. Okay. Now, if you take $378 and you divide it by $18 a cycle, because that's how much you make as a diamond coach, then you're going to know how many cycles you need to make $378. Okay? So that's 21 cycles. 21 cycles at $18 a cycle is $378 for 1 week. Okay? Now, that means I needed to have a minimum of 2,100 points on my weak leg. And how I figured that out is I just took the 21 cycles times 100, because your weak leg volume it has to be the 100-200 ratio. And every time it is, you make $18. And you keep making that and cycling it for the amount that's in your weak leg. So I needed to have 2,100 in my weak leg and a minimum of 4,200 in my strong leg, and that's just multiplying it. That's just doubling 2,100. Okay, so did that make sense so far before I move on to the second part? Okay, I'm seeing some head nods. Okay, and if not, pen, paper, calculator, watch this again, it will. Okay, but that kind of lets you know if you want to make, $378, close to $400, and you want it to be coming from your team, that's what your volume needs to look like, okay? So matching bonus. I made $26 off of my coaches because I earned 10% of all of my personally sponsored coaches' team cycle bonus. So these are diamonds and emeralds that are underneath me, okay? And this is a true representation. So I made $378. So one of my top leaders made $114. And that makes sense, right? Because most of the time your coaches under you are making less, right? Not all the time. So Shauna made $114 on her team cycle bonus. So I made $11.40 from her. Now I'm going somewhere with this. Kristina made 76. I made $7.60. Sam, who's an Emerald coach, made 38. Danny made 38. So as a total, I made $26. And that plus the 378 brings it to 404. I don't even have challenge packs on here, okay? Because at this point, we didn't even have challenge packs. But I think I made some commission, but I didn't even put that on here because I want you guys to understand that this income comes in every week. Okay, challenge packs is a, you know, in and out. You got to go make that happen that week to make that income, right? Okay, so I hope I don't lose you here. Shauna made $114, okay? In order for her to make $114, she had to cycle 6 times. And I did that but with the simple math of taking 114 and dividing it by $18 a cycle. I want to know what her volume was. And Beachbody doesn't give me that information, so I have to do the math myself. So Shauna cycled 6 times. So that means that that's what her volume looked like at the bottom. Shauna is my top coach, okay? Well, she's not actually my top coach, but at this time she was. So she had 600 in her weak leg and 1,200 in her strong leg, and she had 1,800 total volume. Here's my point. Let's go back to my $378 that I made. I needed to have how much in my weak leg? 2,100. Look how much Shauna's team was producing towards my 2,100. Do you see the power in helping your team? Her team was producing 1,800 of my 2,100. If you knew that your team could, if you could help your team be successful, and that would then in turn help your business grow like this, would you give more time, energy, heart, soul, and take some gunshots for your team? Because that's how this business works, okay? Now, when I say 1,800 total volume, that's not all of just Shauna's coaches, because she's at the top of my organization. So her whole volume is intertwined with my coaches and her coaches, okay? And she is on my weak leg. Kristina is on my strong leg, and I think the other 2 are on my weak leg too. So, I mean, all those things I took into consideration when I figured this out, but I just wanted to show that to you guys for a couple reasons. One, for you to maybe understand Team Cycle Bonus a little bit more, and know that the bottom line is Shauna and Kristina and Lisa were my first diamonds. Lisa was under my husband's account, so you don't even see her here. They were my first diamonds. And at this time, Shauna was not a diamond. I think she was an Emerald coach, okay? But very soon after, she became a diamond coach. She is now a 5-star diamond coach, and she has hit the $1 Million Club, okay? So for me, it is about finding Shauna's today, still, right now. Like, it is about who can I bring into this business that wants to change their life. Like, that's who gets my energy and my time, because I know I can help them achieve their goals. In turn, it is going to help me achieve my goals. But yeah, I'm showing you all this, and maybe it went like, or maybe you got it. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. But do I go through, I really haven't gone through this with anybody ever before. I guess I probably should start doing that. But my point is it is very simple. You just need to find people on your team who want to build a full-time income with the business. And then you have to help them build their team, like literally. When Shauna had her first baby, she was an Emerald. She had been in the business over a year, and she didn't want to go back to work. So she literally called me up and she said, okay, I'm ready to go diamond. She's like, we are having a party. We're having like an open house for the baby. This sounds crazy. It was not my idea. She's like, we're having an open house. She just had her baby. She's like, all of my family and all my friends are coming. I want you to come here. I'm going to make Shakeology, and I'm going to bring all my best people here, and I want you to talk to all of them. And I was like, are you sure? So I did what would be considered a business presentation, but call it whatever you want, for 5 hours straight. And Shauna went diamond that day. Now that's a best friend. I had my laptop, and I literally don't even know what I had. And at that time, this is what I was making. I was making $400 a week. But I was talking to her friends and her network like I'm talking to you right now. Like I haven't changed. I'm the same person that I was when I signed up. So don't wait to make a certain amount to feel successful to talk to people. I sat in her basement and I had a laptop, and I don't even know if I had a PowerPoint. I don't even know what I had, but I was just like, this is so awesome and it's so much fun. And I don't even know what I said. I don't even know. I wish somebody would have recorded it because it's hilarious. But it was just excitement. It was just excitement and passion and fun. And we're looking for the ones who are excited, and the ones that aren't, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you. Okay. So the last thing, and then we'll open it up for questions, and I definitely want to hear your feedback, is number 6 is our business is network marketing. And most people, they just don't say that, or they shy away from it, or they hide under the table. But it is a network marketing business in the aspect that is how you're getting paid. So if you want to build a full-time income in this, you need to do the research on network marketing. You need to read books and listen to audios and go to conferences. Eric Worre has a ton of videos on YouTube that are excellent. And you basically have to take those principles of network marketing and you have to apply them to Beachbody. That's all I did. I was lucky to work with two experts in network marketing in the very beginning of my business. And I took the principles and I applied them. And some of them we talked about tonight. And that was going through their warm market and making a list and helping your people win. Don't wait for them to sponsor people, because you'll wait till you're gray. Not Melissa is the rarity, but even Melissa, who's already sponsored a couple of people, even her, if I would not step in and help her and I just left her and she just is enrolling people, she would only get so far. She's only going to get so far and get frustrated because she doesn't know what to do with her people or doesn't know how to help her people succeed. So, all right. Well, that's what I have for you. I'm going to stop the share unless you want me to keep that up. And then any questions you guys have about anything, I'll let the Team Cycle bonus, was that helpful? Was that what? And I talked for way too long, as usual.
I have a question. Hey, Kristina. So for new coaches that just aren't showing you that they're meeting you halfway, how do you typically approach that? Like when you're sending them training videos, maybe scenarios that they're dealing with, maybe not worried about failing or any type of the issues, and I send them training videos, and like a week later they're like, oh, I didn't have time to watch that 5-minute video, or just not showing the efforts. Like, how do you approach that? I mean, I've tried several times, and I mean, it gets to a certain point where, what do you just say, okay?
Do you have their goals on paper? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so is this someone that does want to make an income with coaching?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do you have their list?
No, that's where I probably went wrong, is I told them to create it, but I never got it.
Yeah, so get their list.
Okay.
And a part of your new coach call or whatever you do has to be you explaining, getting that information first. And so when they tell you $500 a week, and that would help me do this, and that's where you have to say, okay, great. I want to help you do that, but here's what that's going to look like. You know, here's what's going to happen. Who do you know right now that, you know, would be interested in getting involved in Shakeology or even joining your team? And let them give you names right away. They will. If you just stop, don't continue to talk, just stop. That's like sales 101. Mm-hmm. And you know the person that breaks the silence, right? And they'll say, well, my sister and my cousin, and, you know, they'll start giving you names. And then, you know, you need to start to create a plan of action right then and there with those people and let her know, like, okay, our goal is to get in front of these people in the next 2 weeks. Here's our strategy. Here's how we're going to do it. And then you kind of have to decide with how you want to do that personally. And then, yes, I'm going to send you new coach training videos. I need you to tag me. I need you to let me know that you watched it. So every time you interact with your coaches, whether it's a Facebook message, an email, or a phone call, you know, try to give them one assignment. If you give them 3, it's too much, like they check out. You have to give them 1, though, because if they don't finish it, you know, like I won't move on to the next step. So like Melissa keeps asking me like all these questions on Facebook Messenger, and I'll go, oh yeah, and did you send me your list? Because I check my email and I didn't get it. You know, so like play dumb always works, but let them know like you're serious and like this is your process to work with you and you're here to help them, but I need you to do this first. If they're just not showing up though, like 1 in 10 is going to really work this business. 1 in 10 coaches. So if you have 4 coaches, you need to go out and sponsor 6 more. So it is totally a numbers game, and know that the majority of them, the majority of your people are just going to participate in challenge groups, maybe run challenge groups, maybe try to hit Success Club, maybe bring in 1 or 2 coaches, and that's it. You're looking for the ones that want to do what you want to do. If you want to make $500 a week, you need to find people who want to make $500 a week. People want to do, your team will want to do what you want. So whatever you set your benchmark at and you tell people, they'll say they want to do that, or they might be a little bit lower. Rarely are you ever going to get anyone who says, well, I want to make $700 a week. It's just not going to happen. I mean, for the most part, unless they're following another coach or something. But so I would just say in general, just be really upfront and just say, hey, you know. But the minute I sign people up, the minute I do a new coach call, or within that first week, there's a filing cabinet in my mind, and I file those coaches accordingly. Rarely do they change my mind, because usually how people start and how they start to work with you, like I said about Melissa's new coach, the one that is more reserved and she's shy, but she's doing every single thing we ask of her. That's what we all want. We want that willing business partner, right? But the ones you're just like, hey, what's going on? Hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Like, they're not going to one day build this huge business. So you just got to keep recruiting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Kristina, I have a question. First of all, thank you. That was awesome. I think the biggest question, and I can speak probably for every single coach on here because this is what you guys ask me all the time, is where do I find people? Like, they've exhausted their list and they don't know where to find people. I've given them my feedback and my training, and I drilled in what I can. But can you just share your perspective on that?
I just feel like, okay, so if you say you've exhausted your list, I don't know how long you guys have been coaches, but had you exhausted your list from a challenge group aspect, or have you actually invited those people to learn about your business, right? And so, like, I feel like that is the problem. And that's why if we don't get in front of our new coaches, Verizon Network, right away, then they start to see everything on social media, and then they make an assumption of what it is they think you do, and then they decide if they want to join or not in their filing cabinet. So that's why you have to get those people right from the beginning. One of the things that I did periodically is, like, I would go to people that were warm market that I wanted on my team, but they never expressed interest, or like that conversation never came up. But they were still there. They're on my Facebook, or they're just like, you know, whatever. I would like revisit them, and I would just be like when I would come back from a conference or something, a leadership or summit or something like that, and I would just go make a list of people who I wanted to invite that week, and I would just reach out to them and say, and it actually worked a couple of times. I went to my one friend, Jenny, and I was like, hey, like, we were talking about something totally different. And I just said, hey, you know, I just came back from my annual convention with Beachbody, and one of my assignments this week is to share our new presentation of the products and programs, and basically what we do with, as coaches with 10 people. And I was wondering if you would be one of my 10 people and watch this and give me your feedback. And I would put a coaching presentation in front of them, because like they were people who already like seen everything I was doing. So it's not like I was like it was coming out of left field. Like she had products, and I think maybe she was a customer, and she sent me back a message, and she was like, okay, I realized that I need to work out again, and I should probably become a coach. And I was like, yes. So, you know, I would revisit that, because I feel like you haven't exhausted your list with inviting people to the business. Maybe you have with challenge groups or free groups or just forming, but have you invited people to learn more about what it is that you do? And for something like that, you can use something really short, you know, what that is or what tool. I know there's like a 7-minute Beachbody coaching one that's out by Beachbody. So I don't know, but as far as that, it's just constantly networking, you know. Obviously that's a whole nother call with social media, but just in general, like, are you constantly recruiting? Like, is that in the front of your mind when you meet your neighbors, when you go to a birthday party? Like, are you out there meeting people and getting contact information or making Facebook friends? And then are you inviting them to learn more about your business, or are you just leading with challenge groups? So I think just in general, like making, like I said in the very beginning of the call, recruiting is a skill. So just if you know that's your business and you know you want to be better at that, then read books on it, listen to audios, watch videos, just make it a you know, something that you want to improve on.
Kristina, I know this probably depends on the person, but when you're sending a video for someone to learn about the coaching opportunity, do you typically send them like a 40-minute video, or do you send them like a 5 to 10-minute video?
Like if it was like something like what I just said, I would do a 5 to 10-minute video. Okay. But in general, I've always used my own, which are like an hour, but I'm already talking to that person about coaching. So they have a level of interest, and I figure if they watch the whole thing, they are going to sign up. If they watch half of it or whatever, and that they're not interested, like that's okay too. Like it's just the easiest way to filter them, you know? So I think it just depends on who you're talking to. If they're already interested or you're already talking about it, like, yeah, I would put the best presentation in front of them, which would be the longer one. But if you are, doing something like I just said, then, maybe it is a 10-minute with your story, send something with your story, whether you have your story on video or if it's typed out or whatever. So what did you think about the team cycle bonus?
I thought that was a really great visual because, like I told you in our message, so many coaches want to make a certain amount of money, but they have no idea how that looks on paper. So that helped me a lot. It might have went over, I don't know, feedback, guys. Did it help?
I thought it did very well. It kind of showed you where that income comes from and kind of pinpoints what you need to do and what your volume needs to look like to get there.
You know what? I forgot to add the last part in there because I didn't type it out. But when I was talking about Shauna's $114 and she had to have, a total volume of 1,800, when you figure 1,800 divided by 90, which is Shakeology, okay? That's 20 coaches. 20 coaches is what got her volume to 1,800, and that's just every person just being on Shakeology. Obviously, some people are going to have a higher volume, but that's just like playing it totally safe. But when you realize, okay, 20 coaches got her to $114 team cycle bonus, you guys realize I just got to put coaches in, even if they're just drinking Shakeology. Do you realize? Do you see that? It's like, so what if she doesn't answer your messages? If she's in the group and she's drinking the shakes and she likes it and she doesn't want to build, that's okay. Like, she's one person that's going to move you towards that residual income. And then you have 1 out of the 10 that, is not going to bring in 90 a week. She herself is probably going to bring in 500 PVs a week, or more. So it's just bringing people in, and even if they're discount or whatever it is that they want to do.
Yep, agreed. And like Stevie, like I told you, and like Kristina's told us for years, and Christine Dwyer has told us for years, building to rank is great, but that doesn't equal income necessarily. So what we've always been taught is you build volume, then rank, volume, rank, volume, rank. You position yourself for the rank, but ultimately every level has a cap on volume, and you should, or on income, that should be your goal to try to get to as you're positioning yourself for that rank. So volume, even if you have one coach, Stevie, Brittany's your builder right there. Teach her to do exactly what you're doing. And even if you have one coach, that wants to do it, that could be your Shauna,
Right. So I always looked at my people who wanted to build a business, like Shauna, for example, and Kristina. I would look at those people and just like everything I would learn, I would just go and teach it to them. Like it's like Christine said at one point, like, this business is like herding cattle. And I was like, oh my God, you just hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what this business is like. You are like running a school bus of kids. And it's like the kid at the back of the bus that's not listening. You got to get that kid and get him over here for the team call. Like, that's what we do as coaches. So when you have those people that do want to build, help them get to where you are. So sometimes we're intimidated. Well, I don't know how to get someone to $1,000 a week. Just get them to where you're at. Just get them to where you're at. If you're Emerald and you sign up a coach, teach them how to go Emerald. Guess what you're going to go? You're going to bump up. Then teach them how to bump up. You go to Diamond, get them to Diamond. You're going to go to 1 star. Teach them how to go to 1 star. You hit Success Club 10. teach them how to hit Success Club 10. We're not turning around and teaching. We're just doing ourselves and figuring, well, I figured it out, so everybody else should just figure it out. No. Yeah, you'll lose people that way. They'll get burned out.
Yep, you just nailed it when you said, I think that was my biggest takeaway from the whole thing. Not that your information wasn't great, but we're not turning around and teaching, period. We're just going, and we're hoping that they just jump on board and get it.
Get the last kid on the bus and bring them up, whether they want to come or not.
Agreed, it is, yeah. Not that you guys are cattle, but you know, it's that you guys were having the same conversations every single day, and it's just doing. And if you don't know how to get your people started, hello, like I've been saying from day one, like I will do it with you. So awesome. Thank you so much, Kristina.
You're welcome.
Awesome call. Any last questions? You guys, I want you to stay on just for a minute, but if you don't have any questions for Kristina, we'll let her get back to life.
Thank you, Kristina.
You're welcome. All right. Good night, you guys.
Thanks.